Good day, friends. Miloa here. Prince Amondir or Hithrengor is the final boss in Sarch Vorn, and today we'll be looking at the mechanics and the strategies to defeat this boss. Let's go! This fight starts off deceptively easy and straightforward with Prince Amondir, but it gets exponentially more difficult once you're dealing with Hithrengor. But I get ahead of myself. There are first a couple of general things that you need to know. There is an invisible wall on the platform where you fight the boss that will appear once the boss fight starts. Everyone should be standing on the other side of the urns on the platform to ensure that they are in the fight and not locked out. The boss has an unyielding buff on him that protects him against all attempts to reduce its incoming healing. He has a rather lengthy dialogue, but not nearly as long as we've seen in this past year. In the event that you don't make it through it the first time, and the fight resets, you'll only get the last voice line before he starts. The kingdom of the dead awaits you. For the tanks, the boss will aggro wipe after each Essence of Fear phase at 10% when the prince turns into Hithrengor, and then after every final judgment vortex. We'll look at each of those mechanics next, so don't worry if you don't know yet what these are, just know that you will need to challenge specifically after those times. The boss can be divided into two distinct phases. One is Prince Amondir and then Hithrengor. Let's look at Prince Amondir phase first. The first skill is Shadow Strike, which is a grey bar induction that is targeted on whoever has aggro. The voice line is, "Your fear shall be the end of you." The prince will turn to face the person with aggro and then does a grey bar induction that will drop a puddle underneath whoever is in front of him. This is a 180-degree frontal. The tank needs to drag the prince to a corner so that the prince is facing away from all other players. The puddles do damage and will only go away when the prince does the next Shadow Strike. The tank should move out of the puddle and back towards the center platform once the induction has finished. At 70% and 40% of the prince's morale, he will get a cheering corruption that has 15 tiers. The prince will take no damage while these corruptions are on. The prince has a massive reflect damage. From tiers 15 to 11, there is a 15% maximum morale reflect damage. From tier 10 to 6, there is a 10% maximum reflect damage. And from tier 5 to tier 1, there is a 5% maximum morale reflect damage. We recommend that DPS limit their bleeds on boss at the beginning of the phase, because the bleeds will cause reflect damage and can kill you. If you're at all having problems with this, then just don't do any bleeds on the boss and stop the second that the corruptions appear. At 65% and 36%, the prince will drop onto the ground and become invulnerable. Thanks to my friend Grodik that drew up this diagram. It's not to scale, but it does the job. When the prince becomes invulnerable, 6 essences will spawn from various points in the room and will move towards the boss. It is possible to face the boss while corruptions are still up, and then the corruptions will go away after he phases. Essences cannot be rooted or stunned, but they will slow down once their morale drops below 50%. So the strategy here is to burn one essence to 50%, then swap targets using as much AoE as possible. We've been successful in burning down all 6 essences using this method. But even if the essences make it to the boss, you can still survive it. He will get 1 stack of Dark Coalescence and heal 5% for each essence that reaches him. This means the prince does an extra 10% damage for a short time. Although not ideal, with a good healer you can survive 6 stacks of Dark Coalescence. When the prince says, "Let fear grip your heart," he's going to do a yellow bar induction called Heart of Fear that can be interrupted. If this goes off, then everyone will get an incurable fear that makes them turn and run away. During this prince phase, it's not that big of a deal, but in the next phase it can be deadly because people can get feared into puddles that kill. When the prince says, "I see darkness within you," it means that he's going to place a multi-stack fear on someone that reduces their morale and incoming healing. This can be cleansed, But on tier 2 it stacks to 2, and on tier 3 it can stack to 3. This means that you may need to pot, use your personal cleanse skill, and have someone else cleanse you in order to remove all 3 stacks. It can be deadly if left unchecked. At 10% of Prince's health, he phases into Hithrengor. Now we're in the Hithrengor phase. The first attack that Hithrengor does is called Hope's End, and it wipes out all your hope. His words are, "Hope will abandon you," and then bam, you have 6 dread on you. Need to be ready to throw up another hope token to remove this dread, or your healers will be super upset. People will get a purple eye over their heads and a damage over time countdown debuff called Judgment of the Doomsman. Note that pets can get this debuff as well, and must be dismissed if you see it over them. So watch your pets. Our strategy has been to group up the purple puddles so as to keep as much of the center of the arena clear. For the first wave of eyes, the group runs north and drops puddles there. Then for the next wave, you run south and drop puddles in the south hallway. From there on, you alternate dropping at north and south hallways. When running back to the group, do not run through puddles because they will kill you. Note that Judgment of Doomsman does 500k damage every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. This means your healer must save all group heals for this. To get the group through this massive damage, it really helps if your mitigations are higher to ensure you don't take all that damage. Note that not everyone gets a purple eye, and there's a reason for this that we'll discuss soon. The puddle that drops upon expiration of Judgment of the Doomsman is Writhing Shadows, that does a 20% morale damage every 3 seconds as long as you're in the puddle. So don't run through puddles to get back to your group, go around puddles. Spite of the Doomsman is likely the debuff that is applied while you stand in the puddles. So your run speed is reduced and your attack duration and skill inductions are worse, meaning get out of the puddles. Hithrengor will continue to do the Heart of Fear yellow bar induction skill that must be interrupted. So whoever does not have the purple eye is responsible for interrupting the Heart of Fire. This is not just the tank, because the tank can also get the purple eye. This means you must discuss this with your group in advance so that everyone understands this responsibility. The Heart of Darkness is a 2-stack fear that needs to be cleansed. It reduces maximum morale by 20% and reduces incoming healing by 30%, so remove it as soon as you see it. At 67% and 33%, the boss will spawn ads. At 67%, he says, "Rise, rise, my subjects." You'll get 1 Plague Bearer, 2 Archers, 2 Shamblers, 2 Warriors, and 1 or more arms. Get these down as quickly as possible in that order, because while you're taking them down, the boss is still doing all the other mechanics. At 33%, the boss will say, "The dead obey me," and will spawn 2 Plague Bearers, 2 Archers, 2 Shamblers, 2 Warriors, and 1 or more arms. The mechanics of these are the same as the trash mobs. To learn more about their mechanics, be sure to check out the video Sarch Vorn Basics and Mob Mechanics, linked in the description below. The crawling arms will put a red eye over you, indicating that you've been marked to take damage from the arms. They'll all crawl to you and start hitting you. Not much you can do to avoid these, and the tank can't taunt them till the red eye is done. The only problem is that the red eye can override the purple eye, so it is very important that you watch your morale bar to know if you have the purple eye or not. Healers need to pay attention to know who has the red eye and show them some extra love. The Vortex is a T3 only mechanic. This is a gray bar induction that will pull you towards the boss. If you make it onto the top platform where the boss is standing, you will get the Grip of Death debuff, which stacks, meaning that Hithrengor's damage can become too much and he will kill you. The strategy to overcome this is to turn away from Hithrengor and run away towards the entrance where the smoke wall is. This is a lot of information to deal with, and you'll probably need to watch this video and the playback of the fight a couple of times to get a feeling for how all this works. But once you do it a few times, you'll see that there is a rhythm to the fight. To help you keep your head straight and know what's coming up next, my friend Nason created a Prime script that you can load into Prime to help you with the fight. Click on the next video for a walkthrough of how to upload the script into Prime and for a copy of the file. I want to also thank my friends Jay and Grodik who helped collect and compile all of this information, as well as our friends that ran it with us as we were researching this content and shooting these videos. If there's any mechanics that I've missed, then please leave a comment below for me to review. Thanks for watching.